What if the biggest mistake people make when trying to lower their blood sugar isn't eating carbohydrates at all, but avoiding the very foods that could help their body control them? For years, millions have been told that cutting carbs is the only path to healthy glucose levels. But modern science paints a very different picture. In many cases, the fastest way to improve blood sugar isn't about removing food from your plate. It's about adding the right foods that work with your body's natural chemistry. I've watched countless people transform their numbers in just days, and many have maintained those improvements for months or even years without needing additional medications. Today, you'll discover 10 powerful foods that help your body fight insulin resistance naturally. Stay with me until the end, because each food builds on the last, creating a strategy that supports healthy blood sugar in a way that's realistic, sustainable, and backed by science. Before we begin, if you enjoy learning how your body actually works instead of simply masking problems with medication, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and tell me your latest fasting blood sugar reading in the comments. I always enjoy reading your experiences, and your questions often inspire future videos designed to help this growing community. Now let's start with something that rarely gets explained during a brief doctor's appointment. High blood sugar usually doesn't begin with glucose itself. It begins with insulin. Insulin is the hormone responsible for moving glucose from your bloodstream into your body's cells, where it can be used as energy. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks the cell's door. But after years of constant blood sugar spikes, those cells gradually stop responding. Insulin keeps knocking, yet the doors barely open. This condition is called insulin resistance. As a result, your pancreas works even harder, producing more and more insulin while blood sugar continues climbing. Many treatments simply push your body to produce even more insulin without addressing the underlying reason the cells stopped responding in the first place. My name is Dr. William, and every food we'll discuss today helps your body in one of three important ways. Some slow the release of glucose into your bloodstream. Others reduce the chronic inflammation that interferes with insulin signaling. And several help restore the sensitivity of your insulin receptors so your own body can once again manage blood sugar efficiently. You don't have to change everything overnight. Add these foods gradually over the coming weeks, allowing each habit to build on the previous one. Let's begin with the first food, fenugreek seeds. They may look small and ordinary, but these inexpensive golden seeds are among the most effective natural tools for supporting healthy blood sugar. Inside each seed is a special soluble fiber called galactomannan. Once it reaches your stomach and absorbs water, it forms a thick gel that slows the movement of food into your small intestine. That slower digestion means carbohydrates enter your bloodstream gradually instead of all at once. Without a sudden flood of glucose, your pancreas doesn't need to release massive amounts of insulin. Fenugreek also contains a naturally occurring amino acid that encourages healthier insulin release while helping muscle cells absorb glucose more efficiently. For many people, this simple addition becomes the first step toward restoring healthier blood sugar control naturally. To get the greatest benefit from fenugreek, preparation matters just as much as the seed itself. The easiest method is to place 1 teaspoon of whole fenugreek seeds into a glass of water before going to bed. By morning, the seeds will have softened as they absorb the water. Drink the water first, then chew and eat the soaked seeds before breakfast. If you find the slightly bitter flavor difficult to enjoy, grind the seeds into a powder and mix about half a teaspoon into plain yogurt, sprinkle it over scrambled eggs, or blend it into a smoothie. Because fenugreek contains a large amount of soluble fiber, it's wise to begin with a small serving and slowly increase the amount over several days, giving your digestive system time to adapt comfortably. The second food is probably already sitting in your kitchen, but choosing the right variety makes a significant difference. We're talking about cinnamon. Many people assume all cinnamon is the same, yet the type found in most grocery stores is cassia cinnamon, which contains higher amounts of a natural compound called coumarin. In large daily amounts, coumarin may place unnecessary stress on the liver. The better option is Ceylon cinnamon, often labeled as true cinnamon. It has a milder taste, contains much lower levels of coumarin, and is considered the safer choice for regular use. What makes cinnamon so valuable is its rich supply of plant compounds known as polyphenols. These natural substances help insulin work more efficiently by improving how your cells respond to it. In simple terms, they help insulin perform its job of moving glucose from the bloodstream into your body's cells. Cinnamon also slows the rate at which food leaves your stomach, reducing the speed at which carbohydrates are converted into glucose after a meal. Instead of experiencing a rapid spike followed by a crash, your blood sugar rises more gradually, making it much easier for your body to manage. Scientific evidence supports these effects. Researchers with the United States Department of Agriculture's Human Nutrition Research Center found that consuming less than half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon each day helped improve fasting blood sugar levels in adults living with type 2 diabetes. While cinnamon isn't a replacement for healthy eating or medical care, it can become an easy daily habit that works alongside other lifestyle improvements. Adding cinnamon to your routine couldn't be simpler. Stir 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon into your morning oatmeal, mix it into coffee, blend it into a protein shake, or sprinkle it over plain yogurt. The greatest benefit usually comes when cinnamon is eaten with meals that contain carbohydrates, because that's exactly when slowing digestion and improving insulin activity can make the biggest difference. Now, let's move to the third food, and this may be the most overlooked item on today's entire list: broccoli sprouts. Notice that I didn't say mature broccoli. The tiny sprouts, harvested after only a few days of growth, contain dramatically higher amounts of one remarkable plant compound called sulforaphane. In fact, these young sprouts may contain 50 to 100 times more sulforaphane than fully grown broccoli. That extraordinary concentration gives them unique benefits that scientists continue to study, especially for people struggling with elevated fasting blood sugar. The way sulforaphane works inside the body makes it one of the most promising natural compounds for improving glucose control, and that's exactly what we'll explore next. Sulforaphane stands out because it targets one of the biggest hidden causes of high fasting blood sugar, the liver. While you sleep each night, your liver naturally releases glucose into your bloodstream to keep your body supplied with energy. Under healthy conditions, insulin carefully controls this process. But when insulin resistance develops, that control weakens. The liver begins releasing much more glucose than your body actually needs, which explains why so many people wake up with an unexpectedly high blood sugar reading even after eating nothing all night. Broccoli sprouts help interrupt this cycle. Sulforaphane works inside the liver by reducing excess glucose production, helping restore a healthier balance while you sleep. This isn't just a theory. Researchers at Lund University in Sweden conducted a well-known study involving people with type 2 diabetes. Participants who received concentrated sulforaphane experienced measurable improvements in fasting blood sugar, with the greatest benefits seen in those whose glucose levels had been the hardest to control. That finding caught the attention of scientists because it suggested that supporting liver function could become an important part of improving insulin resistance naturally. Fortunately, adding broccoli sprouts to your meals is simple. You can grow them yourself in a glass jar at home for very little cost, or purchase them fresh from many grocery stores. A small handful, roughly 1/4 cup, is enough for most people. Sprinkle them over salads, sandwiches, wraps, or grain bowls. The most important rule is to avoid cooking them at high temperatures, because excessive heat destroys much of the sulforaphane that makes them so valuable. Eating them raw or only lightly warmed helps preserve their benefits. At this point, you've already seen a pattern begin to emerge. Every food we've discussed works with your body rather than against it. Some slow the entry of glucose into the bloodstream, while others improve insulin sensitivity or reduce unnecessary glucose production. Instead of forcing your body to react to large blood sugar swings, these foods help create a more stable environment where your natural metabolic systems can function as they were designed to. Now let's move to food number 4, avocado. For years, many people avoided avocados because they worried about the calories and fat content. That misunderstanding caused countless individuals to miss one of the most blood sugar-friendly foods available. The majority of the fat inside an avocado is monounsaturated fat, the same heart-healthy type found in extra virgin olive oil. Combined with its generous fiber content, avocado slows digestion and reduces the speed at which carbohydrates are broken down into glucose. Imagine eating a serving of rice or whole grain toast by itself. Those carbohydrates are digested relatively quickly, causing blood sugar to rise more rapidly. Now imagine eating that exact same meal with half an avocado added to the plate. The healthy fats and fiber create a natural brake on digestion, allowing glucose to enter the bloodstream much more gradually. Instead of experiencing a sharp spike followed by a crash, your blood sugar rises steadily, making it far easier for insulin to keep everything under control. Research has also shown that diets rich in monounsaturated fats can improve insulin sensitivity over time. In other words, your cells become more willing to respond when insulin delivers its message. Many of my patients discover that adding half an avocado to breakfast or lunch not only supports healthier blood sugar, but also keeps them satisfied for much longer, reducing cravings for processed snacks between meals. And the next food on our list builds on that same strategy in an even more powerful way. The fifth food on our list is chia seeds, and don't let their tiny size fool you. These small black and gray seeds deliver an impressive combination of nutrients that can make a noticeable difference in blood sugar control. If you've ever mixed chia seeds into water or yogurt, you've probably noticed how they quickly swell and form a thick, gel-like texture. That simple transformation explains much of their power. Once inside your digestive system, the soluble fiber in chia absorbs water and creates the same type of natural barrier, slowing the digestion of carbohydrates and reducing how quickly glucose enters your bloodstream. Instead of facing a sudden surge in blood sugar followed by a rapid crash, your body receives a slow, steady release of energy that is much easier for insulin to manage. Chia seeds also contain plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, which play another important role in improving metabolic health. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the hidden drivers of insulin resistance. When inflammation remains elevated for years, it interferes with the communication between insulin and your cells. By helping reduce this inflammation, omega-3 fats allow those cells to become more responsive again. In other words, your body begins listening to insulin more effectively, making it easier to maintain healthy glucose levels without constantly overworking the pancreas. Adding chia seeds to your daily routine is simple. 1 or 2 tablespoons each day are usually enough. Stir them into plain Greek yogurt, blend them into a smoothie, sprinkle them over oatmeal, or mix them with water and a squeeze of fresh lemon. Give the mixture about 10 minutes to thicken before drinking it, and remember to increase your water intake because the fiber works best when your body is properly hydrated. Now let's move to number 6, one of the most powerful foods for attacking insulin resistance at its source, fatty fish. Specifically, we're talking about salmon, mackerel, sardines, and herring. Unlike several of the foods we've already discussed, these fish don't mainly work by slowing digestion. Instead, they target the chronic inflammation that often lies beneath insulin resistance itself. When inflammation remains active year after year, it disrupts the normal signaling process that allows insulin to communicate with your cells. Even if plenty of insulin is available, the message struggles to get through. Fatty fish are naturally rich in 2 essential omega-3 fatty acids known as EPA and DHA. These compounds are among the most thoroughly researched natural anti-inflammatory nutrients available. They help calm inflammatory activity throughout the body, improve the health of cell membranes, and make insulin receptors more responsive. As communication improves, glucose moves into cells more efficiently, allowing blood sugar to stabilize naturally. Over many years of clinical practice, I've repeatedly noticed that patients who include fatty fish in their weekly meals often experience steadier blood sugar readings along with improvements in blood pressure and overall cardiovascular health. A practical goal is to enjoy 2 servings each week, with each serving about the size of the palm of your hand. Whether you choose fresh, frozen, grilled, baked, or even canned varieties, these fish provide tremendous nutritional value without requiring expensive ingredients. In fact, canned sardines and mackerel are among the most affordable and nutrient-dense options available. Next comes food number 7, walnuts. While many nuts provide health benefits, walnuts deserve special attention because they support both blood vessel health and insulin function at the same time. Their unique combination of healthy fats, fiber, and plant-based omega-3s helps protect the delicate lining of your arteries while reducing the blood sugar spikes that occur after meals, making them another valuable piece of this blood sugar strategy. Walnuts earn their place on this list because they improve blood sugar control in more than one way. Unlike processed snacks that deliver refined carbohydrates and cause glucose to rise quickly, walnuts provide a balanced combination of healthy fats, fiber, and plant protein that slows digestion and supports steady energy. They are especially rich in polyunsaturated fats, including alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that helps reduce inflammation and improve the health of the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. Since elevated blood sugar can gradually damage these blood vessels over time, protecting them becomes just as important as lowering glucose itself. Studies have also shown that eating walnuts regularly may reduce fasting insulin levels, meaning your pancreas doesn't have to work as hard to keep blood sugar under control. A small handful, about 1/4 cup or 7 to 10 walnut halves, makes an excellent snack. Choose raw or dry roasted walnuts without added sugar and use them to replace processed snacks instead of adding them on top of an already high-calorie meal. The eighth food is one that has been misunderstood for years: whole eggs. For a long time, many people avoided egg yolks because they feared cholesterol, replacing them with sugary breakfast cereals or refined toast. Ironically, those substitutions often caused far greater problems for blood sugar. Whole eggs contain almost no carbohydrates, meaning they have very little direct impact on glucose levels. Instead, they provide high-quality protein and healthy fats that keep you satisfied for hours. But eggs offer another remarkable advantage known as the second meal effect. When you begin your day with a protein-rich breakfast like eggs, your body often responds better to carbohydrates eaten later in the day. Blood sugar remains steadier through lunch, and many people notice fewer cravings for sweets or processed snacks during the morning. In my clinical experience, replacing cereal with 2 or 3 whole eggs is one of the quickest dietary changes people can make to improve their fasting glucose readings. Pair those eggs with avocado or vegetables like spinach, and you've created a breakfast that supports stable energy from morning until afternoon. Now let's move to number 9, apple cider vinegar, one of the fastest acting foods on this list when it comes to improving after-meal blood sugar. The key ingredient is acetic acid. This natural compound slows the rate at which food leaves your stomach, allowing carbohydrates to enter the bloodstream much more gradually. It also encourages muscle tissue to absorb glucose more efficiently, helping remove sugar from the blood after a meal. Research from Arizona State University found that taking 1 tablespoon of diluted apple cider vinegar before a carbohydrate-rich meal reduced post-meal blood sugar by roughly 20 to 30% in adults with insulin resistance. Always dilute 1 tablespoon in a full glass of water and drink it about 15 minutes before meals. Never consume it straight because the acidity can damage tooth enamel and irritate the throat. If you take medication for diabetes, speak with your healthcare provider before adding vinegar regularly since it may enhance the blood sugar lowering effect of your prescription. Finally, we arrive at food number 10, lentils. Many people assume that all carbohydrates raise blood sugar dramatically, yet lentils prove exactly the opposite. They contain resistant starch, soluble fiber, and plant protein, creating a combination that releases glucose slowly over several hours instead of all at once. Replacing refined carbohydrates like white rice or potatoes with lentils several times each week can help lower A1C while keeping you full longer. The true lesson from these 10 foods is simple. You don't always improve blood sugar by eating less. Often, you improve it by eating smarter. If you found this information helpful, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone working to control their blood sugar naturally. Leave a comment below telling us which of these 10 foods you'll add to your meals first, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our next evidence-based health video. R4S.